So welcome, everybody. I'm glad you have joined us here in a real room. And I should also say to the people who are joining us online, can anyone see how many people have joined us online already? Can you, technicians? With how many people? Yeah, I'm doing spontaneous things in here. Yeah. 12. All right. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I think this will be variable during the whole event. Who is joining an event of 2.5 hours for the whole time nowadays? Is there anyone? Okay, but what we discussed, this is a hybrid event, so we want to be inclusive and we want to involve the audience in here as well as the audience who is participating online. So therefore, we will arrange the interaction with help of a tool. And I'm not sure if you already checked in this tool, but we'll do that later as well. I have to say officially welcome to the ICAI Day, because I didn't even mention ICAI. ICAI, which is the National Innovation Center for Artificial Intelligence, and we are here together to discuss how we can bring artificial intelligence from lab to market. So we're talking about entrepreneurship. I cannot call myself an entrepreneur now, however. I'm Desiree Hoving, I'm a science journalist and I'm self-employed. So that's different from being an entrepreneur. I'm also curious who you are. So I'll introduce this tool I mentioned to you, and I think we have a slide about that. If you can grab your phone and scan the QR code with help of your camera. Can you see it? This brings you to a website called slide.do. Slido is the name of the tool, and there you type in the event code ICAI Day. So this is our code, ICAI Day 2022. And if everything goes right, you see the first poll question coming up in your screen. And that question is, what are you looking for today? So I can imagine you'd like to start a startup, or you'd like to scale a startup, or find a startup to cooperate with, or maybe you have another reason to join this event today. I'm curious about that. I shouldn't stand here, I think. Oh, it was like a robot, wasn't it? Maybe in the future there will be a robot here moderating you. So I'll give you some time to type in this this reason why you joined this event. And we are going to look at it after our first guest. You're not a guest, you're the host of this event actually. And I hope you have your hands free, so please turn your phone on your lap now and get your hands here. And I'd like a loud applause for the business director of ICAI, Esther Smit. Welcome on stage. Esther, and not only welcome on stage, but I should also say welcome back, because a lot of people you know here, but you've been away for a time. How are you?
Yes,
Does it work?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I think
Test,
it's
test.
on right now. Yeah, great. Okay, this better. Yes, thanks. Doing well. Back from maternity leave again. Corona time is a good time to have kids. So, but it's enough now. 3. So
Good,
yeah,
congratulations.
I'm happy that I'm back, and also directly being here is very good. Very good to have the audience here. A lot of familiar faces. Good to catch up again. A lot of new faces as well. So I'm very happy that we have this diverse audience here.
Great. And we are going to look at the results of the reason why you're here, because we are curious about that, aren't we? Can you show them already? And also the people who are online. Why are you joining us online? We can't see a difference, and it's anonymous as well. That's an advantage, I think, of using such a tool. And another advantage is that also the introverts here, I guess there are some of you introvert, they can also participate. So it's not scary, you don't have to hold your hand. And while we wait for the technique to show the results, yes, what are you looking for today? Networking, and learn about the challenges of building an AI startup and where to start when founding a startup. Esther, do you see any interesting things coming along?
Yeah, I think a lot of learning how really starting a startup and a lot of networking. So I think that's also the aim for ICAI in organizing those events, of which this topic is the first one. So yeah, learn how startups are linked with ICAI. Also a nice one. I will maybe pick that up later or ask me afterwards the question again if I forget to come back on that.
Great. Discover innovation bottlenecks. Nice. Thanks for this first Slido question, for answering it. We have a full program this afternoon. There are in total 5 keynote speakers. They will all present for 10 minutes, and then you can ask questions with help of Slido. So people at home and people in here, please use Slido to ask those questions.
I do like that one. Answers. I hope we can give you some.
And and in the end, we have a panel discussions about what are the biggest challenges in bringing AI from lab to market. But first, Esther, you will give an update about what's going on within ICAI. So the stage is yours.
Yes, thank you, Desiree. So actually, before we're really gonna deep dive into all the content about entrepreneurship and bringing AI to the market, I'm not an expert in that. I'm part of the ICAI team. I wanted to thank first Yashwei and Aisha, who is outside, but thanks for organizing everything. I'm happy that we're here together. So I wanted to give a brief update about, some of you already know what ICAI is, what we do, but I wanted to give you a brief update on where we are, where we stand, and what we're actually doing. So we're a national ecosystem. We're in Amsterdam. Our office is based here, but we're doing this for the national community on AI. And what we try to achieve is talent development and bringing more innovation from research towards the markets, all organized mostly from the Knowledge Institute. But we do have different ways and building blocks of doing that. You can see here the different elements that we're focused on. And I will go through them one by one very briefly to show where we are right now. We started about, I hope you can all see it, or else I can go to the side. We started in 2018, so we're now quite a bit on our way, and we're growing, expanding, and building the program further, all with the focus on AI specifically and the talent development and innovation that we're trying to achieve to keep up in the whole competition there is worldwide, and stay as the Netherlands also in the top of AI. And to be able to do that, we have labs, which is a collaboration between knowledge institutes and external partners. A lot of them are with business and industry, but there are also some with the non-profit organizations. Could be, for example, municipalities. There's still people from the Civic Lab, but also with hospitals. Bram van Ginneke is somewhere here who works a lot in the medical fields. And each of them are working on topics to be able to develop talent and innovation by doing research in the field of AI. But we see that there's more than just having those individual labs. So what we do on the national level is try to do more with it. So all the knowledge that comes out of it and people that come out of it. We have an ICAI Academy on the knowledge sharing. Broadly, we're focused on joint appointments, connecting people. That's also why we're here, which is also combined with the venture part, which we do together with TTTAI, and the launchpad. So those are elements that we're focused on, and we organize it on a national level through the network by bringing people together and try to achieve more. So about the labs, we have a national spread, though there are now 29 labs across the country. In some cities there are more than others, but at the moment we are developing a lot more. So there's more in development, and we hope to have it around across the country by the end of the year, everywhere involved. And we completed the first 2 labs, and they continued. So there's a second version, a second wave actually of the QVA lab and the Delta lab, and the collaboration apparently was positively and achieved what they wanted to, and they wanted to continue. So we're growing, and we have a lot in the making. At the moment, we're about 99 partners. There are new, next to the organic growth that we have, we're building a new program, which will have 17 new labs. So each of these labs have at least 5 PhD students who are working on topics which are built around also the challenges of a company or another organization. And yeah, it's really the aim of working together and building new AI techniques that will also be implemented in society, either via companies, via hospitals, for example, or municipality. So within the academy, we'll go through it very briefly because I assume that you're all very interested, mostly in the entrepreneurial part. But for you to be aware of what we're doing and what has been done. The National AI course, we have a new chapter there on the ethical aspects of it. It's a free online course. With Delft, we developed the TU AI in Practice MOOC. And there's the podcast series, Snoek op Zolder. Henny is also here, who is the host. There he is. So if you want to know more about it, you could ask him, or just you can find the podcast on the Spotify or any other platform that you would like to use. And there's work in progress on more professional training. So with the connector, we try to make sure that lessons learned are lessons shared. That's also why we're here. So we have open events like this one, but we also have some internal events between the different labs, and that's also something we want to establish more by building really the community further. So this is what we have planned so far on the community building. And this is something we're expanding, and also with the as you can see, for the venturing part, this is, one of the first things that we do. So we also would like at the end to hear from your side what did work, what did not work, so we can build upon that, because we're not here for ourselves, we're here for you. So we really like to receive also from you the feedback on what we could do to bring things further. No, it's not working again anymore. Could you click through? Always nice when. Yes. Okay, so experts, what we also try to do is attract talent. for to be able to attract talent and mostly more staff, we have implemented a way that a talent can have an appointment not only on the university side but also on the industry side, for example. This way we try to achieve to get talent here to the Netherlands, but also to be able to give young staff the opportunity to not only learn in the university, but also get the experience on the industry side, which in our perspective can be very interesting to also see the things that you develop in university be implemented, for example, in a company. And this is also something in progress, and we want to bring further within the next 2 years. On the Launchpad, what we try to do is support the PhD students, mostly from the labs themselves, but also from outside the labs, in what next, what to do after you finish your PhD. And then, of course, specifically again on the AI students. What you see is that actually you have a lot of options, but what does fit and where to look for and what options are there? Not everybody can or want to work at a Google, Facebook, or Microsoft. And also in the Netherlands, there are a lot of opportunities here with companies that might not be the first one you think of, but do have very interesting challenges. So we started it. We had some hiccups with startups that were supporting us in this. But we are having at the moment a career cafe for this. And hopefully when we have the new long-term program, we will continue in a different setup. And we also work on this with the Dutch AI Coalition. So on the venturing, I mentioned it, we work together with TTTAI. That's something that you will hear about later. Julia's here to give a nice presentation about it. So I will leave that part to her. She can tell you what possibilities are. Also there we work together, and we hope to be able to get more startups out of the knowledge institutes, and we really want to support them in bringing the products to the market. Thank you. Are there any questions so far?
Not in the Q&A. Yeah. Yes. There's a question. The online link seems to be not working. You are in there already, aren't you? Yeah. So if you are not, go to sli.do and enter the event code ICAI Day 2022. But this is why am I telling this? Sorry, my brain doesn't work as fast. Yeah, the Slido link works, of course. All right, I should have a coffee. Okay, the second question.
You've mentioned positions of PhD students quite a lot. How can master students get involved with ICAI? So I think depends on what you want. I don't know if the person is here in the room or if it was from online. But I think if you want to do what is it that you want as a student, there are possibilities with different labs to do, for example, your thesis. On the other hand, by having those venture events, you could get information on how to start a startup. And yeah, so we have quite a lot of different elements, so it really depends on the aim of how to get involved. But there's also the reason why we're not focused that much yet on master students is because locally on each university there's already quite a lot of organized for master students. What's your relationship with the AI Startup Lab on motivating PhDs, creating a startup? So the AI Startup Lab is an initiative from ACE, right? I think. Yeah, it's the ACE, not Startup Village. Sorry, I sometimes get those two mixed up a bit. yeah, so we connect. AI Startup Lab is specifically Amsterdam. We're more focused on the national, so it is. I think the AI Startup Lab works together with ADS and also more the local community. Yeah, we try to work together where possible with partners on a national level, but also and leave it also to the local level. But we can support in lessons learned and share with others as well. And I think also the link will be mostly with the TTTAI, because those are also on a national level organized, linked with multiple cities and universities, with the link then directly from there to the local organizations. Are there opportunities for master students to work at ICAI on the organizational side, for example, to gain experience in developing a lab? Sure, we can talk about that. So send me an email and we can have, or if you're here, we can have a coffee and discuss what's needed.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock there is a short break, so you
oh,
can.
This is a nice one.
Why
isn't ICAI in Rotterdam yet? Yeah, so the labs are developed by the regions themselves. I know Rotterdam is working on it as well. There will be, especially within the program that we're now setting up, there will be 2 new labs by the end of the year in Rotterdam. And Groningen, yes. They'll be in there as well.
Whoa! Okay. Well, you see these thumb at the right of the screen. You can always upvote each other's questions if you like. So the most popular questions will be asked first, and if there's not any time, the most popular question. Yeah, Groningen. There are people from Groningen here apparently. Great, or fans of Groningen. I think I'd like to thank you, Esther, for this introduction and for this update. So we'll see you later. You'll be joining us the whole event, I think. Or
yes, I will be away in between because the little one is here. There's a babysitter somewhere outside. He doesn't want to drink from a bottle yet, so that's our other starting up hiccups.
Modern ways.
Sometimes you have startup hiccups also at home.
All right.